Hello, folks of the internet. There are a lot of voices out there, I've noticed, that tend to state what a man is, what he isn't, what motivates him, what have you. And there's also a fair number of feminists out there that seem to have this idea that men are to blame for all the world's problems, or that we're deliberately neglectful in our role. This is part of the reason why MGTOW even became a thing. I'm going to give you my own perspective. Being as a guy, I would think I'm kind of an expert on the situation. But in my experience, and also in talking to a lot of other guys I've known throughout life, there are three primary motivators behind most everything that we do. If it adds to our joy, our peace, or our contentment, we invest in it. Believe it or not, we, generally speaking, as most men, I mean, there's decent motivation behind it, but it's not for the reason that you think so. For most men, it is not about the amount of money we bring in. And that matters to us. Money is typically seen as just a medium to enjoy the other things. So when he goes out and buys himself the new gun, or buys himself the ATV or the boat or whatever, it's in his eyes the thing that's going to provide him joy, or the thing that's going to provide him a state of peace. I mean, the fishing boat, what is that going to do? It's provide him happiness, a sense of joy. It's also going to provide him a sense of peace, because he can go out there on the water for hours on end and just be in his nothing box, in his own little world, doing his own thing. And that adds to his peace. And by his peace, he has to his contentment. Now, why do I say this? Well, when a man goes through state of midlife crisis, and he starts splurging on things that you would probably consider very erratic or very childish or what have you, there's a chance that he's doing it, at least a good chance that he's doing it, because he's gone for so long in his life without feeling that state of peace, that state of joy, that state of happiness, that he is reacting in a way that benefits him, and he is almost wholly and selfishly involved in appeasing that about himself. You could probably say the same thing for your spa day or something else. You have your motivations, the things that you want. We all have our things that we want. And so rather than trying to shame a man for his hobbies, or trying to make a man feel small for having an interest that doesn't involve immediately being around you, or perhaps having his own little charm and quirks in his home that bring out the side of him that you fell in love with in the first place, bear in mind that if you want him to spend his money on you, because guys will have no problem on spoiling their wife. They really won't. They would actually love to do that every day. But the best way to get your man to spoil you is to do what you can to be the means of fulfilling at least one, if not all three, preferably all three of those things that add to his life. And this is the reason why in some of my other videos I say, don't necessarily ask a man to talk about his feelings. That doesn't add to his peace. It actually upsets him further. Just being in the same room as him, stroking his arm while he just kind of simmers or does what he needs to do mentally. Don't need to talk to him. That adds to his peace. It allows his mind to wander while he knows that he has the support and comfort of his spouse. Laughing at his jokes will add to his joy. Now, I'm not talking about forcing yourself to laugh, but I'm talking about actually finding genuine interest and joy in his quirks, whatever they may be. Things that he does that just kind of give you a giggle every now and again, or things that he says that make you laugh. That's going to add to his joy. Contentment, obviously, coming home and at least seeing that there was an attempt made to keep the house clean and kids in good order. I know that's asking for a lot, but a guy is more than happy to try and find a way to spoil his wife, especially if he's an attentive husband. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing bad husband personalities, but I am saying that when he's an attentive husband, and when he does try to make sure that there is food on the table, a roof over the head, bills are taken care of, and there's a little bit of money to go and do some fun things with, chances are you got a pretty decent guy on your hands. And if you provide for him the things that give him the most sense of peace and joy and contentment, the more likely he is to invest in you, and the more likely he is to invest in the family. The more he feels like he's not getting that, just like when you feel you're not getting certain things that you want and crave, the more likely it is that he is going to do things that are very selfishly involved in just pleasing him. So think about that next time. When you're tempted to bite into him, when you're tempted to lash out at him, when you're tempted to whitewash and beige his entire living space to make it more you and more neutral and whatever, understand that you're taking large chunks out of him, and you're taking large chunks of the things that add to his joy, his peace, and his contentment. Guys are willing to be a partner with you, but part of being a partner with you is understanding that he needs his space too. And if you're always taking that from him, and you're always ridiculing him and his activities, or the friends that he hangs out with, or doing everything you can to deny him those three motivators, you're probably going to be faced with one of two, maybe three possibly very real realities. One, he will completely shut down and not engage with you at all. Two, he will divorce you. Or three, he will go and do something that both of you will regret. One is usually the preliminary to the other two. So ask yourself, are you contributing to his problems, or are you contributing to his solutions? Are you giving him the transactional value that gives him that this is worthwhile for me to keep doing this? Or are you giving him the nonstop sinkhole investment where he puts the money and it doesn't give him anything in return? It's important. Okay, bye.